Hi, how you doing? We're back and we're ready for it all over again.
What is going on, everyone? How are you doing? Hope you're doing good, because it is good to feel good. It's a new year, it's 2018, which is very mad, but yeah, I think this is going to be a good one. Now, when it comes to New Year's videos, I really don't know how I want to, present it, essentially. Like, I can make a New Year's resolution video, or I could just talk about a few things I want to get up to in the year, but I think I'm just going to combine like two into one, essentially, and, talk about a few things, and then maybe a few New Year's resolutions, because why not? But yeah, let's talk the talk and walk the walk, essentially. So yeah, so now that we're into 2018, to start off the year, I actually had a very quiet one, which is very rare, because here's the thing, I love going out, on New Year's Eve and, say partying with my friends or going to London and watching the fireworks, but this year I decided, you know what, I want to just have a quiet one in, so basically I watched the fireworks on telly, and it was just nice to see that. Don't get me wrong, I love going out and partying with my friends and that, but I also thought to myself, where's the fun in starting off the year with a hangover or something like that? Because, do you know what, I want to start off the year nice, clean and sober, so hopefully, I don't go into the year having done some silly crap the night before. So, yeah, I had a good one, albeit a quiet one, but yeah, no, it was just nice and peaceful to start off the year. Going on with, like, the week that's been so far, and kind of it's a New Year's resolution, but here's the thing, I don't actually believe in like New Year's resolutions. I think it's just such a cliche, like, you say, oh, I'm gonna do such and such this year, but here's the thing, as much as I don't like New Year's resolutions, I have got one New Year's resolution this year, and it's something that, is kind of like bugged me in previous years when, I've said I want to do this thing. So this year is going to be a year in which I'm really going to focus on like my fitness and that, and saying that, I have done this week 2 like big gym sessions, and yeah, I've signed up for a gym membership, and I'm going to the gym regularly, although I say regularly, we're only a week into 2018, so yeah, maybe one point this year I might drop out of the gym, but yeah, so I'm doing that now, which is very exciting. I'm making the most of it, and I'm trying to go as regularly as possible, so that's a good thing, and hopefully by the time the year's out I can, talk about how I've progressed from the start of the year. And I think, what, as we keep the year going, I think that's gonna be one thing I'm gonna talk about quite a lot in my videos. So yeah, my fitness regime is gonna be a main focus for me this year, and I look forward to like where I progress, really. So yeah, we'll see how I go by the time the year's out. And then now I want to talk about some things I want to get up to, but before I do, this is something I forgot to mention in my 2017 review video, where, talking about a few things I'm most likely getting up to this year. Well, I forgot to mention that I am going to a screening of The Room next month, and for those of you who don't know what The Room is, it's essentially this independent film, and it's one of those films that's so bad that it's good. And the man behind it, Tommy Wiseau, is a living legend, essentially. Like, he just basically was one of those, aspiring filmmakers, who wanted to, put his vision to film, and he did, and, the reception wasn't so kind towards the film, but it's gained this cult following in the past 15 years. In fact, this year's its 15th anniversary of it coming out, and yeah, it's basically loved by everyone, essentially. Well, maybe not everyone, but it's got this massive cult following, which is just incredible. And so I am going to go along to the Prince Charles Cinema, where there are frequent screenings of The Room, and I'm really excited for that. So Oh, it's gonna be so fun. I'm hopefully gonna get around to vlogging it. Although saying that, I'm not quite sure if I'll be able to vlog it because you're not allowed to film in cinemas, from what I've heard. But yeah, nah, I think it's gonna be a very fun experience, you know, taking part in all the rituals that everyone takes part in. But yeah, nah, it should be a good one. I'm very excited to, you know, watch my first ever screening of The Room. Oh, this is something I also forgot to mention. Tommy Wiseau and Greg Sestero, you know, the guys who played Johnny and Mark respectively, and also who were working behind the scenes on the film as well, they will be there, so most likely I will get to meet them. That'll be very fun because, you know, they were just, you know, two people who, you know, were kind of rejected by Hollywood essentially, and they decided, you know what, we're gonna make our own film. And although it didn't play out as well as they thought it would, again, it's got this massive cult following, so it's gonna be a good experience in my opinion, so I'm really looking forward to that. Now, I already mentioned this in my review video from last year, but I'm most likely gonna go to California again because California is always one of the highlights of my year. Like, it was that in 2016, it was that last year, and hopefully it's going to be the highlight of my year this year. So what the plan is, I am going to go out for 2 weeks again. I'm going to spend a few days in LA before going down to Anaheim for VidCon, so that will be cool. And then I'm going to, you know, spend a week in LA for myself, most likely. Again, I'm not quite sure how it's playing out at the moment, but yeah, I've got a kind of baseline for my first week, but my next week I'm not quite sure how it's going to play out. But yeah, we'll see how it plays out essentially. And I think, you know, it's going to be a very nice, fun experience again. You know, I always love going back to, you know, LA, because LA's just LA's just so cool. Like, you know, it's so very chilled out and relaxed. You know, there's some very positive vibes there, and I think it's gonna be a good one. And, you know, it'll be very nice, you know, it'll be very nice to, you know, go back a bit down memory lane and, you know, from experiences from previous years, and, you know, being to places that I've already been to. But, you know, it's always nice for the nostalgia feel. Although saying that, I say nostalgic, it's like, you know, a year ago and 2 years ago. But yeah, nah, it's gonna be a good one, in my opinion. It's gonna be very nice. Very, very nice trip. And although I've got nothing else like travel planned yet, I am also thinking of a big like trip towards the end of this year. Like, obviously my California trip's gonna be probably one of my main trips this year, but I am also thinking of doing another trip like towards the end of the year. So I have no idea what I'm gonna do yet, but I would love to go somewhere, you know, maybe somewhere I've never been before. Like, you know, there's a lot of countries that I've never been to before. In fact, there's a long list of countries that I've never been to before. Most of the countries in this world, to be honest. But yeah, I don't know where I'm gonna go essentially at this point in time, but I would love to go somewhere new and experience it, you know, from scratch essentially. So yeah, we'll see how that goes, and hopefully by the end of 2018 I would have gone somewhere very cool. Oh, this is going to be very split out from where I was talking about what I've gotten up to in the week so far in 2018. Almost said 2017 there, but yeah, 2018. But I watched New Japan Pro Wrestling's Wrestle Kingdom. For those of you who don't know what Wrestle Kingdom is, it is essentially New Japan's answer to WrestleMania. I was about to say Wrestle Kingdom, but that is what it is. But yeah, nah, it was incredible. Like, you know, there's some very big, you know, matches that took place, you know, very high profile, and just some that were just, you know, so full of action, so full of energy, so full of, you know, amazing set pieces. And it was an all-round brilliant show. Like, you know, I know we're only a few days into the year, but it's probably been one of the best wrestling shows I've ever watched so far this year. So far, quotation marks on so far. But it was good. So you had some great matches like Kenny Omega versus Chris Jericho, of all people. And who would have thought a year ago that Chris Jericho would be back in New Japan Pro Wrestling? and that was an amazing match in itself. There was a fatal 4-way match for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship between Marty Scurll, Kushida, Hiromu Takahashi and Will Ospreay. I was so happy when Will Ospreay won, because I'll say this right now, Will Ospreay is one of my favourite non-WWE wrestlers, essentially. Like, obviously his style, he's a high flyer, and he's so brilliant at his craft. And like, I've seen his progress throughout the past 2 years, and he's just, you know, he's turned out to be one of the best in the world, essentially. And I was so happy when he won, so I had a few happy tears in that moment. Kazuchika Okada versus Tetsuya Naito for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. Now, a lot of people thought, you know, this was going to be Naito's moment where he would regain redemption from 4 years prior at Wrestle Kingdom, but shockingly he didn't win. And I think to myself, I think that is going to set something along the line this year, maybe in New Japan, where it sets up Naito to finally beat Okada. But I don't know how it's gonna work. And a lot of people were complaining, oh, typical of Okada, he wins again, lol. It's like in WWE, whenever people question, you know, the booking of whenever John Cena wins a match against a very high profile opponent, it's like Cena wins, lol. And a lot of people were, you know, making it look like Okada wins, lol. But yeah, now the match itself, while a lot of people questioned, you know, its booking, I think, you know, it played out very well. Especially the end sequence where Okada countered a Destino from Naito and delivered a Tombstone Piledriver, then proceeded to deliver a Rainmaker and won the match like that. And a lot of people were quite mad that Naito didn't win, but, you know, that's kind of how it's booked, I guess. Obviously, not everyone's gonna win in wrestling, and I know it's predetermined, but that's just kind of how it is. And you know, it gives it a good chance to tell a good story down the line. And also, like, while I'm on this topic of the, you know, New Japan's Wrestle Kingdom, if you've never watched New Japan Pro Wrestling, Wrestle Kingdom, in my opinion, is always a good way to, you know, get into it, because obviously it's not what you probably come to expect from, say, WWE or something, but it's still, there's still some great matches in there, and you know, there's a lot to, you know, take in, and it's just, it was brilliant. And if you don't watch New Japan Pro Wrestling, you know, full time, give it a watch, and you know, it might get you interested into watching it more regularly, because it was that good. And I really enjoyed it myself. And now we're on to where we're going to conclude this video, because I have no idea how this video has played out, but it's just basically me talking about, you know, what I want to achieve this year, what I've enjoyed so far this year, and, you know, it's just some, yeah, essentially that. And I think this year's going to play out very well. I just don't know how it will play out, but, you know, I think it will play out very well. Not just for me, but, you know, for my friends, my family, and, you know, just everyone, I guess. And I think that's where we're going to conclude it. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Again, I hope you guys have had a very happy new year, you know, a lovely Christmas on the back of that, and just, you know, have a good 2018 essentially. So thank you very much for watching, and like, comment, subscribe and share the love. See ya.